Welcome into the Command Center podcast. I'm Logan Paulson here with Santana Moss, who is in a kind of a subdued fit today, but still looking good. And then Fred Smoot. How are you doing? You got an Iron Captain America shirt on today.
Most definitely. I'm a Marvel guy. You know that.
Marvel guy.
I'm most definitely. I love comic books. That's all.
Do you have a favorite Marvel? Who'd you say last week?
Deadpool.
Deadpool's your favorite guy.
I actually call him. If I was a superhero, I would be Fred Poole. Like that'd be my name. Most definitely.
Just
like,
because he's funny, or
well, because he gonna save people while cracking jokes, and that's how I would probably be. Like that would be me. Totally how I would do it. And I blur the line between good guy and bad guy. So I be anti-hero. So that's why I think it is.
And Tana, you're a big movie guy. Are you a Marvel movie guy?
I watch them all.
Yeah?
Yeah, I watch everything.
But you don't, you're not super pumped on the Marvel? You were like, that's the least pumped I've seen you about it.
Yeah, because it's like real. Like,
but that's why you get lost in
love
it. Because it's not.
I love it when it comes to just, when they bring film after film after film, but you watch it sometimes you get blown away like, okay, none of this shit gonna really happen. But as a kid.
But with I don't know, like Armageddon or something like that. That's not really gonna happen either.
Really, but I just love movies. I love anything that have a great storyline. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So what's your movie you're watching right now?
Oh man, the last movie I watched. Let me see. Last show I watched.
Because you were talking about something recently. Shot
Well,
Caller.
I watched
Shot Caller is a great movie.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that recently, but I was just telling you, you look like the guy when he got his
when I painted his face.
Yeah, when he painted his face with the tattoos and all.
Yeah.
Shot Caller was a great movie.
Oppenheimer was the last one I watched.
Oh, was that good?
Oh, so good.
That's what my wife said.
Hey, listen, it was so good, so thrilling, and come on, man! If you the man that designed the weapon of mass, the ultimate weapon of mass destruction, his conscience is eating him apart.
Yeah, have you heard that quote that he gave? I'm going to butcher it, but it's like, I am the harbinger of death.
Yeah, yes, most definitely.
Dude, that's got to be such a crazy.
I haven't seen the movie yet.
No, but I'm just like,
he invented the nuclear bomb. All right, so he feels like he is the person that destroyed the world. Like he feel like if the world ever get destroyed, he's the reason.
Could you
why.
imagine just like your life's work and that's the thing that comes out of it?
So smart, so dedicated, but then you created the ultimate bomb.
And obviously you give nuclear energy is a big positive byproduct of that, but it's like, oh man, that's got to be something.
Who wants to be the person behind destroying
the world?
But I mean, I think because that's where he's promoting good science.
Yeah,
he's promoting innovation.
Intellect.
But it just shows you some effed up people in this world too.
Yeah,
no, it ain't even effed up. It's just like you got a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the gift of being gifted.
Yeah.
Can become a curse.
But he could put that to better use. You know what I'm saying? Like you gifted.
He did. But think about it. We got nuclear. We got
energy.
We got energy coming from it, so it wasn't all bad.
Yeah.
It just the situation was what it is.
Yeah. So speaking of all bad and all good,
we
got to talk about this Bears game. And I know we don't really want to talk about
that. Was a nuke. that was Oppenheimer. Dropped it over in FedEx.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But what I do think comes out of a game like this is there's a lot of kind of hot takes, right? Like a lot of really people being, super negative or super positive. And the games it's not like that. When you're playing the NFL, when you're on a team, we've all been a part of bad losses, right? Yeah. It just happens sometimes. And so what we're going to do is we're going to play a game. Mm-hmm. And it's called Pumpkin.
Yep.
Because why, Fred?
Because it's useless.
It's useless.
It's totally useless. We should not grow them anywhere on earth.
I don't totally agree with that assessment. But for this game, pumpkin means it's an empty take. There's no nutrients, no substance behind it. Or sweet potato.
Yes,
sweet potatoes,
full of substance, full of life. It's totally different.
We're going to see if yours full of substance.
Hey, full of life. That's what you want.
And I guess the important thing to note here is we're not saying fans can't be upset. Because you can be upset. We're upset, right?
First
We're
of all,
disappointed.
we all emotionally attached to the game.
Absolutely. But we are trying to give some good detailed analysis here and say sometimes people are just saying stuff and they have no understanding of what's actually going on.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this first one. I think this is the first one that really kind of encapsulates this. So I hear fans say this all the time. We're going to the grocery store. People say, hey, Logan, what'd you think of the game? And they say, oh, I think, the fan will say, I don't think they wanted it enough. I don't think they wanted it
That's
enough.
so funny. I get talked to at the grocery store all the time.
Yeah.
People be like, Fred, what happened?
What is your analysis?
I didn't play. What you want me to do? Yeah. We in the vegetable aisle. Don't do that to me.
So didn't want it enough. Is that a pumpkin or potato take, and I'd like to get your reasoning as to why.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
No
I agree.
substance, because these are the 1% alpha males in the world. Losing
so
is
glad you
not an
said that.
option. All right, we don't like to lose. We don't ever want to go out in the place and be dominated. All right, so it's most definitely empty calories. There's nothing there. These guys, if it was up to them, they'll go 17-0. Like that's how they feel. All right,
Yeah.
so they'll never show up on the field and not want to win a game.
I totally agree. I mean, how do you feel, Tim?
Yeah, I agree with it too. I also just think, when it comes down to it, when a fan or whoever may say they didn't want it enough, it's all about just the energy that you showed that fan.
You showed that day.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily saying they didn't want it, but as a player, if you show that kind of effort, then that's leads up to that kind of conversation.
Sure.
Like you didn't want it because you came out there flat. You hear these guys saying, "Yeah, we was flat, but why?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You understood that.
The guy said they were flat.
Yeah, most of the guys said, "Hey, we was flat."
It was a short week. I think that fifth quarter fifth quarter in Philadelphia meant more than people think it meant.
So now that goes back to should Ron have went for 2?
Yeah. But here goes the thing. You don't know until you know.
Yeah.
Like it's
Damn
one
if
of
you
the-
do, damn if you
don't.
don't. So-
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think, guys want it.
Yeah.
They want to win the game.
It's
Like,
never, it's never an option. You want to win.
We
Yeah.
want to win.
One goal we all come here to play this game is to be winners. Like,
Yeah.
We don't come here to say, okay, man, hey, I want to be
And I don't-
50-50. I want to
And I don't work Monday through Friday to just sit here and not
Yeah.
try to win the game. Like at the end of the
Try
day,
to
what
win.
people need to understand is what we do every week, every day, the time we put into this game is a piece of us. We leave a piece of us every time we come in.
Like, think about it. It's like when I was playing, and this is maybe just my personal experience, my identity was being tied to being a football player and a good football player.
Yeah.
Like I want to go out there and beat the man across from me. Like that's what it is. I'm not always going to do it.
Yeah.
But my goal, my prep, the countless hours, it all goes into that. So I don't think anyone goes out there and says, man, you know what I want to do this week? I want to get blown out by the
I
Bears.
want to lose to the Bears.
Now, I will say this.
The
as
Bears.
a player, too, as a football player, because, everything that we do is predicated on how the team runs things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we can't – you can be flawless. You can have no catches caught on you, no touchdowns, and we lose. And
We
it looks
lose.
like Fred didn't have a good game.
Yeah,
But then
I
if you
stunk.
go out there and watch the film, you're like, well, damn, Fred showed up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if
That's
you're on a
point.
team where you used to having those kind of outputs from your team, but you're the stud, you're the guy that's always showing up, then you kind of get lost in that. Hey,
You get
long
lost
as I
in the
handle my
mix.
business,
Yeah,
but
yep.
that's not no one goal just to be like I'm going to do my job and we win or lose.
Yeah.
You have to sometime live up to that because you're like. Because I've been on those teams before. You've been on those teams before.
Yeah.
Where look, I got to go out here and shine regardless. Because we don't know. We can't dictate what happens when that score. I mean,
I think
when that
people
clock goes
forget that
zero.
we are independent contractors.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
we independent contractors, but we also a team. And that's the difference in it. And we win and we lose together. So therefore, it don't matter. Like you just said, we're grouped together.
Yeah.
All right, we lost, we all stunk. All right, we balled out. Some guys go out there and stink it up on the games that we ball out.
Yeah.
They get just as much love as the rest of us
Yeah.
for that game. So it's just one of those things where fans, please understand, we want to win every week.
And to that point, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think if you go out there and are trying to win your individual matchup, like that's good for the team. It's good for you and it's good for the team. So I think fans say, oh, like that guy cares about himself. Like, no, like if he's playing his best football,
He cares about
he
everybody.
cares about everybody.
It takes 11 of us to go out there and get the job accomplished on both sides, all phases.
Yeah.
But if you're that guy that's just continuously putting that effort above everybody else, it's going to stand out.
It's like Chase.
But we need everybody to be having that same kind of energy. You understand?
It's like Chase. Like Chase Young probably had the best game of his career this last against Chicago, right?
Yeah.
I think he had 50% pressure rate. On every pass rush that he was in, he won half the time.
Yeah.
And that kind of gets lost in the sauce here. But if everybody plays like that,
Yeah. You win.
you win. You're going to win the
but
game.
they go to thing. You have to do it as a unit.
100%.
Like you have to be organically put together that you play off each other. And that's why I think we fail in it right now.
Yeah.
Like we have these individual bursts where
Yeah.
everybody starts to make these plays, but I haven't seen us play that total game.
Yeah.
Like prime example. I don't want to cut you off. I want to get this in before we move on.
Yeah.
As a receiver, you can win every rep. You can go out there, and I used to go home and get in the car. My homeboys, they sit right in the stands. You know them
Yeah.
well. Tanner, I got you. I'm recording this. Like, you beating your guy.
Yeah.
But the
quarterback don't throw it.
Getting you the ball.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Tanner ain't done nothing. Like, you look at the stat sheet, Tanner, you ain't do nothing. You ain't show up. It's 3 weeks now. You ain't show up. It's not my fault. Like, I'm just ain't getting the ball. So it's a team effort. And that's why at the end of the day, when it all balls down, you look at it and say, well, you didn't do anything, whether you did something or not. We didn't win together.
Yeah. And that's what it's about.
So I think just saying they don't want it is kind of lazy. It doesn't.
That's lazy.
You're not understanding. You don't understand the guys, A, the players, B, the coaches. Like, they all want to win. Like, they want to win this game. It's not because they don't want it enough. They're putting time in. They're getting after it. This one I think is kind of interesting. And I think, so the short week. When someone says it's a short week, is that a pumpkin take or is that a sweet potato take?
No, that's sweet potato. Because I watch teams play bad Thursday night football.
But let's say why. Why is it?
I watch guys play Thursday night football all year, and all of it is bad football. Yeah. And you talk about playing on a Sunday. We played 5 quarters. You come, and Monday ain't off. You got a half-day Monday. You come back Tuesday. Wednesday, what you walk through.
Yeah, I mean.
And then Thursday you're playing.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. That's asking a lot of the human body. And I think because we play the game the way we play it and we so free-spirited and wild doing it, that people think we could do it every other day. Yeah. You cannot. It's a reason why it's only 17 games in the season. It's a reason.
I didn't care about the Thursday because I knew I had the people that to repair everything that I lost or left on the field. Everybody don't have that. Yeah. Chicago had it. I don't know what I don't know what they had. They did something.
They got Dr. Wilson.
But it was a different type of energy with them because they just knew, man, everything relied on that game. They was 0-4
and they had
nothing to lose.
They had lost 14 straight. Like, you don't want to fight the wounded animal.
I would say for us it was kind of a gift and a curse for us to play as well as we did in Philly because those guys kind of got happy. They kind of was satisfied with what they did.
Maybe.
And and I'm not saying this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
They allowed that to trickle over into the next week. And when you watch them practice a little bit, you watched a couple of the, they was happy. They was out there, okay, we don't have to.
That's why I don't believe in more victories. That's why I hate that word.
We used to hate when Coach Gibbs made us put on pass and made us hit
the day after.
You know what I mean? We used to hate it. But now I look at them like certain guys need that.
Yeah.
You need to understand this is not a what you call a country club.
We're
not gonna come out here and baby you.
Yeah.
We're gonna push you through rigorous times, hard times. So come Thursday or come Sunday or come Monday,
when it get hard,
it's gonna always it's gonna feel the same. You know what I mean? And I just feel like, to the fans' credit, when they say they didn't want it enough, that's what they saw. They saw a team that came out say, like, we can be ourselves and skate through this game and still get it done.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen.
So, let me just add a little bit more analysis to the short week. So, one, I think the level of opponent was a big deal. I think playing Philadelphia, division rival, is a big deal. I think the physicality of that Eagles offensive line and defensive line is something that can't really be measured, but it definitely shows up. Like last season, they had the opponents following Philly games were like 80% losing. You know what I'm saying? They lost 80% of the time. It was a big statistical number. And I think there is an element to that, the physicality of it.
You get beat down.
The emotional high. The other thing I think, all short weeks aren't created equal. We had to travel to Philly. Yeah. So they had to get on a plane to go up there. They had to get on a plane to come back. And that does stunt your recovery. Yeah. But getting on that plane is not great for recovery. Yeah. And Chicago played at home last week against a team that's not quite as good as the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think all that matters, the fifth quarter, I think that's another huge variable, just prolonging that game, prolonging the emotional kind of adrenal high of the game. So it's not all the same. And it's not an excuse, but I think adding a little bit of context is super important. Yeah. Because in addition to it being a short week, the defensive line is playing about 15% more per game this season than they were last season. Yeah. So that is going to have a cumulative effect. And you can tell guys are a little bit, anybody on the defense that I thought played well, I thought the defensive line played well. Like Montez had a good game. Yeah. Chase had a good game. Payne had a good game. Allen was a little bit kind of in the middle. But what I will say is you could see at times a little tired.
They were gassed.
Yeah.
They were gassed. Let's be honest.
And I think it's not just the short week. It's the short week in conjunction with the travel, in conjunction with the extra quarter, in conjunction with
the team
they're playing more over the first 5 games of the season.
And then one of the things you can say, too, from last year, just what stands out to me, is the one thing that we did well on defense last year was getting off the field on third down. Yeah. This year, you can look at the percentage rate. I don't know it, but I'm pretty sure you're good with those numbers. It's glaring different.
No, it's terrible. And the thing is, anytime we playing double-digit drives, meaning 10 plays, 11 plays, 12 plays, it don't work well for us.
Yeah.
Like on defense, it wears us down. Yeah. And that's when we start to miss tackles. That's when we start to not be in the gaps. That's when we start to not communicate. That's when we get in self-survival mode. Yeah. And when anytime defense is in self-survival mode, we're not working together, we're going to get butchered. Yeah. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I think the other thing is that the offense didn't play very well. I think they went 3 and out their first 2 drives.
Yeah.
That just being an offensive player, sitting in those meetings with Kyle, with Jay, with Sean, talking through that, it is tough on the defense when that's happening. Yeah. Right? You're adding a level of fatigue to a group that's already fatigued. If they're struggling and we can kind of settle down, go on a nice 8, 9, 10 play drive, even if we don't score, you just let everybody kind of settle in. That's a huge deal. And then the defense didn't get that, and so I think there's a multitude of things happening.
Well, Logan, you brought something up right there. And then what you don't realize, when the defense plays that many snaps, don't forget the defense is 80% of the special teams.
Yeah, that's
all right. So now you got 2 groups struggling.
Yeah.
Like 2 groups trying to wear the game out, trying to wear through it. So I think it's one of them things where it's just a carryover.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do think short week is a sweet potato take, but once you add a little bit of context to it, it becomes a true sweet potato take. So again, it is a factor for sure.
Yeah.
So this is one that I've heard a lot, and on our shows and all this stuff, we get on the comments on the YouTube page, we get this a ton. The defense is bad, and so.
Yes,
I'll start this because I think I know what you're both going to say. I think this is a pumpkin take, and this is why I'll say that. I think I look at the Buffalo game, and I say they were 16-0 going to the fourth quarter after the offense had given up 4 turnovers. And to me, that is good defensive approach.
No, that's great defense.
Against a team that's probably going to be in contention for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? You look at the Philadelphia game. In the first half of that game, I think they scored 7 points. The second they started hitting explosive plays, which a good team, it's going to be hard to mitigate explosive plays on a rookie player versus, Devontae Smith explosive play right before half that leads to 3 points. A.J. Brown explosive play leads to a touchdown. A.J. Brown explosive play leads to a touchdown. That totally changes the complexion of the game. When they were able to limit explosives in that Philly game, they were awesome. Yeah. Swift only had 56 yards rushing in that game after being second in the NFL in yards per attempt and yards per game. So I think that there's context to everything. And I'm not making an excuse for this group. I'm not making an excuse for them because they didn't play well against the Bears.
They feel like it.
They did not. But what I am saying is I don't think – Tanny, you said this on the show the other day on the Command Center. The Bears game is not reflective of this team. The Philly – the Bills game are more reflective of what this defense can and is capable of doing. And this, to me, is the outlier. It's not the rule. So when they say defense is bad, I think they didn't play well against the Bears.
Yeah, that day they was bad. But I don't think they're bad as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit a spot on the head. I mean, if you look at certain things, what caused them to be, in those situations, you were spot on Philly. The explosives killed us.
Killed them.
And I mean, just before the half, I said that me and B. Mitch were sitting there, and Devontae Smith quartered or didn't catch it.
Yeah,
it wasn't quartered.
Whatever it was.
The ball hit the ground. But those 3 points, I said, that's right. They're going to come back up.
Change it up.
Yeah. What we lost the game by. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you have to look at certain situations and what lead up to it. That Bears game, it was sitting right in front of our face. The offense wasn't on the field long enough. That defense kept coming back out there. Yeah. And they was hitting them with daggers. It wasn't like we're going to trinkle. Nah, it was like boom.
Yeah.
Boom. So, as a whole, I've seen this defense play better.
Yeah.
We've seen this defense play better. But I truly believe whatever was going on Thursday, short week, that 5th quarter in Philly, whatever it was, that's not who you hang your hat on and say that's the team that we know they can be. That's not our team. Yep. They're going to be better than that.
Well, here you go. I got to keep it 100. I'm going totally left from what y'all doing right now.
That's why we're
here going to think about it. The defense is not bad. They playing bad. At the end of the day, if I told you at the beginning of the year that Sam Howell at week 5 was going to have more passing yards than Patrick Mahomes, more passing yards than Jalen Hurts, more passing yards than Joe Burrow, what would our record be? We will all say 4-1, 5-0, something. Yeah. We hung our hat on this defense. Yeah. We said this defense is going to be what makes this team go. It's going to do they haven't showed up. And the thing that's making me so mad about it is I haven't seen them play as a unit. I've seen them make plays individually.
They've been inconsistent.
I've seen them like to come together as a unit. That's the one thing I can say about the defenses I played with. We played together. All right, we understood how to have each other back. We weren't leaving nobody hanging. It was 11 versus 11, and we understood that. I'm just saying, if we had to say at the beginning of the year with a new offensive coordinator and a young quarterback who was going to lead this team, it was the defense. And to this day, they haven't stood up this year now and said we are who we are.
And I agree. Like I agree with everything that Tana said. I agree with my thoughts, obviously, but I also agree with you. Like they are underperforming expectations while not being a bad group. I think they're underperforming what we thought they would be. And I think that's tough. That's tough to negotiate that kind of that gray area. But saying they're terrible, saying they're not good, I think is somewhat of a mischaracterization.
Well, that's the one thing about sports. We keep score.
Yeah.
And right now they the 30th ranked, 31st ranked defense. They haven't been playing well, and somebody got to hold them to a standard. Like, come on, dude, y'all got to show up.
But I also think, again, like this is, and we're just talking shop here, and I'm not, again, not making excuses here. They've played good teams. The Bills, Eagles, good
top
football
quarterbacks
teams.
in the league.
Top quarterbacks in the league. And when you play top quarterbacks, like, again, this is something I think I brought up in our analysis this offseason. But when you're playing good quarterbacks and good offenses, defenses just can't keep up. It's very rare that a good defense can match a good quarterback. Like, you can see a good defense take care of a bad
quarterback will bend you to his wheel.
100%. Yeah. And so that's kind of what I'm saying. Is like you expect there to be production from those offenses.
Yeah.
I think the level of production is a little surprising. I go back to the Bills game still, because it's probably because I'm an offensive player. The offense played so bad. Yeah. I don't know how you expect the defense to do anything.
When you turn the ball over 4 times, you're losing.
5 times. They turned it over 5 times.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to lose the game.
Yeah.
But at one point, does the defense say, you know what, we got your back because we knew y'all was going to start off a little slow. Yeah. We got a young quarterback. We got this. We were supposed to be the big brother.
Yeah, and I think
we were supposed to protect the house.
I think the question was, or whatever the statement was, is the defense is bad. It still leads to them. They're not bad as they look.
They're not good.
They haven't played good.
Yeah.
They're not bad. You know, they just haven't got things together. Because like you can see different, I guess you can call it groups playing well. Like the back end, has they been great? No. They've probably been the reason why a lot of this stuff we in the situation. But then you can say the front end hasn't got to the quarterback. And that might be the reason why we haven't.
And the linebackers haven't played well either.
So with all that being said, defensively, as a coach, now the coach had to come in and say, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. I can't.
I got to switch it up.
I got to switch it up. I got to protect them back in the back end a little more. And I got to let these guys here play a different style of play. I thought they can get out to the quarterback a little better than that this year, and it hasn't been getting done.
4 don't beat
now
6.
I have to do a little more. Yeah, that's all you have to do. You make adjustments.
Yeah. And I think like that's something that, like I coach high school football. You go in with the season with like, this is what I think we're good at.
Yeah.
And you do the scrimmages, you do the practices, you do training camp. You're like, man, we're pretty good at that. And then when you get into a game,
we ain't good at it.
It doesn't work the same way. And so you got to do a little bit of adjusting. Like, like they've made some decisions this offseason to be a little bit more man heavy. Obviously, like in the offseason, I thought, great. St. Juice, good in man coverage. Forbes, good in man coverage. Fuller, good in man coverage, or they've shown ability to be good in man coverage. Obviously, they need to kind of mix some of that up.
I don't think they play it enough. Like, if you're going to play man, play man.
But you can't play man now. Like, right now, they're playing man like 34% of the time, which is like 3rd in the NFL. Teams just don't play man with that same level that you used to play because it's just not a tenable solution long term.
You can't play man and be passive though. If you gonna play man, you got to play man. You got to be
aggressive
on your man. You have to be press man. Yeah,
you have to press
all that
man.
Off man. You don't work. 9 times out of 10, you getting beat.
I push back on that a little bit because I think like with like no Tana, like this is why we're talking about it. I think like with off coverage, when you got guys who can track the ball, like Forbes as an example, like I'd rather him be off because he can see the quarterback. I want him to see the quarterback.
I don't want him to see the quarterback because then his eyes start playing tricks on him. I want him to. I don't want him to have to check the whole route tree. When you play off man, the whole route tree is open. Yeah. When you play press man,
even when you play with good leverage,
I don't care about your leverage. Yeah. If you play press man, the route tree shrinks to 2 routes.
Yeah,
fade and a slant. Like them, the only routes you're running.
I'm a receiver. You're a tight end.
Yep.
You mostly get guys up in your face because you're on the line half the time. As a receiver, if you had to ask me, if the guy playing you man, what you prefer, off or press? I would say off every time.
Yes.
Because I have all the routes to my hand.
Everything.
If you press me, I have to release a certain way. I have to run this route a certain way. Everything kind of counters now. Like if I had a post corner on press, I have to run in a different way. Now I have to get inside and I have to run to the corner. I can't give you everything.
And it's the one Mississippi. It's two Mississippi. The clock is running when I press.
I guess my question would be is why one of the reasons you don't see as much press stylistically now is because there's much more motion offensively.
But you see so many other teams doing it and do it well.
No,
I'm sitting and
I
watching
watch
football.
Kansas City press. But
they don't do it all the time.
They don't.
It's situational dependent.
But I need to show the quarterback the shell from the start.
So I think that's one thing is like we speak in these kind of absolutes as analysts. And
but no absolutes.
And so what I would say is that there are situations where you need to press and where this team does press and where other teams do press. But
Third down.
But you can't do it all the time because if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm going to say, oh, you want to press? Check this out. Let's get in a bunch real quick. Let's motion to a bunch.
And I'm going to check the
cover
And I'm
going to pick the heck out of you, and I'm going to get a touchdown. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't do it all the time.
I feel you on that.
And so, like, because it presents – offensively, if you're in man, I'm like – remember when we played the Cowboys? This was in 2013 maybe, and they ran a lot of man. Mm-hmm. And so Kyle had me in, and Kyle's like, Logan – this was back when you could, like, really pick. Mm-hmm. He's like, I want you to go block the corner covering Pierre. Mm-hmm. Just go run into him as hard as you can. And we did that probably 5 or 6 times, and Pierre had like 150 yards receiving.
Yeah.
And so you can manipulate man coverage if you're in it a lot.
Yeah.
And so if you're pressing, I can manipulate it even more.
But my thing is with that is that has to be a game time decision for you because if I see you coming out in a certain formation, I'm going to bring my man down. If you ain't in bunch, then okay, we in your face. Now I know you because I want you to get the ball at your hand fast enough, knowing that my guys up front going to get to you. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. We have to find ways to disrupt these guys. Game plan or whatever they set out to do. But when we sit out there and just be soft, they don't pick us apart.
So
now you a dartboard.
I think what we're saying, I think we're both saying the same thing. Is you have to add a little bit of diversity to what you're doing in terms of how you play man, how you play match, how you disguise your coverage shells. Like even we're going to talk about Atlanta on the preview show on Thursday or Friday. When does that come out, Jason? Friday. Comes out on Friday, and they run a lot of 2-man. Mm-hmm. And if you run a lot of 2-man, and I'm a high school offensive coordinator, I can game plan that if you do it every play. I'm running
at you.
I can do it every play, right? But the diversity of the play call is something that's super important. So. We talked a lot about that. Very sorry for the long delay there. So defense is bad. Kind of a pumpkin and a sweet potato.
There's a sweet
I think there's a little sweet pumpkin. All right, real quick. So running the ball only twice in the second half. This is one. This is one that I think is interesting. We lost because we didn't run the ball in the game, and fans of this area are especially predisposed to this take.
They so sensitive
because because of Joe Gibbs.
Why do they?
You know what I'm saying, Tanner?
It needs to be balanced. Like a game is about what do they not do well, and we're going to attack it. If we get down by 20 points, we're not running the ball. Like that's all 32 teams. We're gonna pass the ball.
We scrapping that whole game plan.
The game plan threw out the window. Like, football is so situational that I'm sorry. The balance don't matter.
Yeah. And the balance is even like a little bit of a misnomer. Like I think San Francisco has the highest run rate in the NFL, and I think they're right at like 48, 49%, which is close to 50. Yeah. But everybody else is like in that 41, 38 range because analytically it's easier to throw the football. So you're never going to be balanced running the football, right? Also, game flow dictates you got to throw the football, right? Yeah. You got to score 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that running the ball a whole bunch. Like it's just not true. The thing I would maybe say about this, Tana, is throw a draw in there. Throw whatever.
A screen in there.
Just to get something. And they did that.
And that's what they don't realize. Screens, quick passes, they are runs.
Yeah, that's a million ways to skin a cat, and especially when it comes to the run game. Nowadays, this NFL we live in now or football period, all across the world, they find other ways to get to the run game instead of just handing the ball off to somebody in the backfield. Yeah. So I'm all for having a little balance, but when the game plan kind of dictates, okay,
we got to do this.
We got to do something different because whatever's going on now in this game, like when you watch, I was talking to someone this past week and they asked me about certain things that went on in that Thursday night game. I'm like, we come into the game plan with the first 15.
Yeah.
But as the game go on and you see things going on, you got to scrap that sometimes because you got to say, hold on, we can't run this.
It ain't
We
there.
can't run this because of whatever's going on defensively.
Because London Fletcher hot tonight.
Exactly.
We cannot run at him.
Yeah,
so it bends the wheel of the coaching.
Well, and we were talking about Atlanta. We just watched a lot of Atlanta film the last couple of days. All of us have been.
Yeah.
Like they run the ball a ton. And they haven't been running the ball super efficiently, but they can continue to run the ball because they're in a one-score game.
Yeah.
They can kind of stay.
That's what they want. They want to
with
murk
that-
the game up.
Stay with that game flow, right?
Yeah.
Here, I mean, I'm trying to think of a game. I can't remember a specific example where we were down a couple of scores when you were here, and it's like, we got to go 2 minute. And we run 2 minute for like,
For 3 quarters.
yes, and everyone's tired. People are thrown up on the sideline. It's terrible, but we got to score points.
Yeah.
So I think like that's something that,
I don't think he was here, but I did it a lot with Jason Campbell. We ran so many 2 minute with. Honestly, it wasn't even we was down at times. He ran that well.
Just needed it.
Like he was better and just like get to the
No,
line.
because he was better when it wasn't thinking.
Just
Just give me
reading
the play.
all that
Yeah,
stuff. Because
2
2 minute makes you get in a certain defense.
Yeah.
So when
It
he
makes
got
us play soft.
bingo. So when he got that defense where he can just say, okay, I know I got to come back, 2 comebacks on the outside. I got these guys. We got one guy sitting over the ball. I got this guy doing something. He ran that well.
better.
So I've been in games or situations where just dictating on who you have at quarterback or how the flow of the game is going as a whole, you have to just do certain things. You have to scrap everything else you had going on and say, this is what we're going to run because this is going to make us successful. Getting back to what we was talking about, you don't have to run the ball to be successful. You would like to have a balanced attack, but if it dictates early in the game that we can't do this because of the score,
So be it.
then we got to go ahead and throw this ball and get back in the
be
game.
it. Hey, so be it. Do what you
Absolutely.
got to do
I mean,
to win.
I think that's that's kind of a pumpkin take for me.
Yeah.
Like I understand you want to run the ball. I understand that's important. It's an important part of football. As much as analytics says it's not, it's important. You can't throw the ball 100 times. But in this game, if we wanted to win,
we need to throw.
we
the
had
ball.
to throw the ball a ton.
And especially while it's warm out. The weather dictates a lot.
Oh, look at
also.
you.
Nobody likes to talk about the weather. Like when it gets cold, that's when you run the ball.
And this guy's a weatherman.
No,
meteorologist.
Hey, first of all, the weatherman lies all the time. It's no different between.
You know well, huh?
No, what I'm saying is, what's the difference between partly cloudy and partly sunny? It's the same thing. Yeah. The dude lies all the time.
So you and the weatherman are the same person.
Are we?
Oh, shoot. All right. So this is the last one, and I hear this a lot. NFL games are hard to win, and I've said this, and I think this is true. But I do think there's a little bit of laziness to that, right? Because they are hard, but they're hard every week. So
I've been saying, but it's only 32 teams, and it's hard to beat any of them.
Yeah.
That's just what it is, and that's it is. I'm one of them people like this. I think it's more of a game of chess. It's about the person that's moving the chess pieces. That's why I think coaching is the ultimate equalizer in pro sports. Great coaches make great players. Period.
No, you ain't lying. I mean, not even make them. Yeah, you can say you make them.
But
like,
okay,
I'm
excited. This is gonna be fun.
You can have great players on the team, and
they stink.
They can stink. You be like, damn, that dude is because of the coaching.
Because of coaching, man. So, I had Jim Zorn.
No, I put you in great situations like that. I think that's key because I've been on offenses where I'm like, man, I tell folks to this day that Mike Shanahan period when he was here, like. I used to look forward to going to practice. Like, I'm like, man, we finna get endless opportunities.
Look at the coaches y'all had. McVay.
But the only thing.
Y'all had 6 head coaches on one coaching staff.
Yeah, but the thing about that, it's a difference. Because I had a chance to play with Mike them from 2010 to 13. And we had a slew of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So they could put you in great situations, but that guy with that ball in his hand has to know how to get the ball, distribute the ball to those guys. And if he knows, man, that thing would be like, whew, it'd be like stealing from a baby. Like, seriously, I mean, your offense can go up and down the field. Like, you watch San Fran right now, it's stealing. Like, what
they also
doing,
have ballers, though. But
no, I'm saying they have ballers, yes, but I'm saying,
but the game
with
plan,
the coaching and with the guy who's distributing that football, like, Purdy don't have a strong arm, but he knows who to get the ball to.
The beat the Jimmy and the Joe.
See, I would push back on that. No. That's one thing about this
game stressed out just to go ahead and counter that.
No, but like that's what I'm saying. Like one of the people don't understand. One of the reasons that Kyle, Sean, McDaniels are good coaches is because they prep you for what the hell's going on. They give you answers. Hey, Tanner versus cover 2, run it like this. Versus single high, run it like this. Hey, Logan, versus this technique on the 6, I want you to get your hat inside. Or on this run, let's get the hat outside. And you're like, I have answers versus different fronts they're going to run, and that's good coaching. The thing I would say is you still need players, right?
Oh, you got to have players.
When we were here in 2011, we were not a good football team. No, we just didn't have enough people, right?
Yeah.
And Kyle was able to, work his magic, but we only won 4 games. Yeah. Because you just don't have the horses to get that done. Mm-hmm. So I would say that it's this weird mix. Coaching can elevate talent, but you need
players.
You need players. Yeah. Okay. So that does it for that segment, guys. I had a lot of fun there. I really enjoyed talking football with you guys.
We got kind of deep in there, kind of educated.
I know.
It was peel the onion back.
Peel the onion back. Well, speaking of peeling onions, you are a farmer, and people don't know this about you.
Don't make me cry.
But in addition to being a farmer, you're also a baker.
I'm a cooker. I'm a cook, period. I'm a chef.
So the fact you called yourself a cooker is maybe a demerit here.
No, I'm a cooker.
That's how you know he don't know what you're talking about.
No, I'm a cooker. Hey, listen, my mom be like, what you doing in the kitchen? I'm a cooker.
I'm a cooker. But baking is different than cooking. But we actually have a bona fide baker here.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
I am here.
I'm hosting the show. He's a bona fide baker. Zachary Selby, who is also what is your official title? Your
senior writer.
Senior writer, but also
he got a great head of hair too.
Great hair. I'm jealous of his hair. I will say
he got a great head of hair. I give him.
So Selby's here. Selby bakes for us like bi-weekly, pretty much. Like every other week, he'll bring some. And it's not just pies, but you break cakes and mousses and
out of nowhere, Smoot just started hating on you, Selby, and he want to bring in a pie or a cake every week that this compete with you.
Well, once I see him baking, I was like, nobody's gonna outbake me. So at the end of the
amount of heat you've given me unnecessarily, I feel like you've just been coming at me for no reason.
Zach, when I see you sitting at your desk with your head held high, like you just did brought Jesus' cake in here, I want to make sure that I one up you. I'm sorry.
Because Fred can't let anybody get shine. The second someone else getting shine, Fred's cutting that person down. And I'm not being mean to Fred. That's just a fact about Fred.
No, hate.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, in order to settle this great debate, this battle of wills, Selby being the perennial baker.
First of all, say why I started. Because Selby stood up for pumpkin.
So Selby,
Selby
can introduce this. Selby, you said to Fred that a pumpkin pie can be as good
or better, depending on who's making it, i.e. me, over a sweet potato pie. And I also said that the differences are pretty subtle.
Yeah.
It just comes down to consistency and taste a little bit.
A pair of lips will tell a lie. And he's wrong. Because pumpkin stinks. All right? Pumpkin is the most useless vegetable in the world. So, we should stop growing it as a country.
So just for the fans or the listeners of the podcast, what is today? Today is Wednesday when we're recording this. Yeah. Fred has been talking about pumpkins in the office for the last 10 days. Yeah. That exact speech we've heard
25 times
on repeat.
Play a hater of the year here, Fred.
Wendy's just made a Frosty, a pumpkin spice,
and it's just a cinnamon Frosty, Fred.
Hey, first of all, no,
it doesn't taste like pumpkin.
Wendy's. No,
I know, but I'm just saying,
there probably ain't even pumpkin in that Frosty. That's right.
Listen. To literally mock the taste of something that tastes terrible is all I need to say.
It's ironic that you say that because a lot of the same ingredients in pumpkin pie are in sweet potato pie.
But I'm using sweet potato. I'm using.
So let's actually talk about that a little bit because one of the things, like I got my godfather makes a really good pumpkin pie, and I said, like, what makes it so good? And he says, I just put a lot of other stuff in it, like sugars and cinnamon, and marshmallows and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good because it's just candy, basically.
But see, I ain't got to do that to the sweet potato pie. I ain't got to mask the taste of it. I want to bring the flavor out.
So there's not a lot of sugar in yours.
It's sugar in there. Brown, white sugar, all kinds of sugar in there. And plus, I use purple sweet potatoes that are naturally sweeter than regular sweet potatoes. And I also use a secret ingredient in mine. I use agave sugar. Liquid sugar.
Look, I've been telling you, you can bring as many friends to the party as you want. One of us is coming out of that alley.
I understand. Zach is finna lead with a black eye.
I love it.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
I love
Zach is finna lead with a black eye.
Look, I'll just say this. In this battle, I'm Randy Moss, and you about to get burnt.
Listen,
Touchdown.
hey, and the great part about it, I checked Randy and didn't get burnt.
Really?
That's the good
Is
thing
that
about
true?
it. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes,
that
I
true?
checked Randy, and I'm not on any. I always tell people, if you want to know if a DB got burnt, just check out the wide receiver highlights.
Also, I think it's important to note that Fred made this pie
Last night.
in less than ideal situation.
Yes, I was kind of tipsy last night.
and then you
when I
got home
made it.
late,
We're already
right?
throwing the disqualifiers.
Yeah,
in.
But
I
I'm
left
saying,
DC
but I'm
Prime
saying,
late.
but like my dad has a saying. It's like I don't care how you play. It's like how you play based on what you did the night before.
Yes.
And Fred's put himself in a good
It's
spot.
sponsored by Jack
I know
Daniels.
Tanner can't help himself. Let's start with the pumpkin.
Okay, start with the pumpkin.
I did the pumpkin first.
Hey, Fred, Shelby, do I need like whipped cream or just?
You know, you do it however you want.
All right.
I had to add a little crust in it. You know.
Oh,
Yeah, I gotta add
Oh, did you make the crust?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
Look, you know the scene in Rocky 3 when he's trying to get ready for Clubber Lang?
Yeah.
That was me when I'm rolling out this dough for this crust.
Yeah, because it was serious. You knew it was gonna be.
Tiger, yeah, I
You
was
know
like-
what? I don't eat pumpkin.
And I
Shelby.
That's
I
pretty
never-
good
But
though.
this
It's
is
good.
pretty good pumpkin.
It's pretty good, right?
You know
Like,
what?
It's good. It's good.
If-
I never
if I was
never
in
had
a-
pumpkin pie.
If I was in a
Never.
bunker, trapped for like 6 years,
Shut up.
I would eat this pumpkin.
shut up.
Huh? I would. It's actually not bad.
And it doesn't really taste super pumpkin-y. It's got like a
I
nice
don't
cinnamon.
taste pumpkin in it.
It's moist.
you
It's
know
all
what?
about the balancing of the flavors. You don't want to be too pumpkin forward, but you don't want to be too spicy forward. You want to have it's all
Too
about
pumpkin
the right
forward.
You want to have the right balance of flavors.
Okay.
It all hits you in the right spot.
I think it's the whipped cream that's doing it.
No, I don't know.
Also homemade, by the way.
I didn't.
You
didn't
made the whipped cream?
Potato time.
Wait, okay. Let me get my. I
damn
gotta
sure.
clear my palate.
I've been saying, can I get some water? Clear my palate?
You know, damn napkins, no nothing.
Y'all guys.
Tana just struggling right now.
Fred, I will say this is really good. This is really good.
No, I'm good.
All right, here we go.
Let me see. Here we go.
Now this is good. Mm-hmm. Really
Not
enjoy
too
this.
sweet. Right in the middle.
You're right. It is. You don't have a lot of sugar in there.
I didn't want to make it too sweet.
It's.
I didn't want to kill it.
I can taste the agave a little bit.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I like
taste
that.
it in there.
I think the texture of it. I'd probably go the pumpkin. I think the texture is better on the
Oh,
pumpkin.
you a texture guy?
I mean, I think so. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like
Mine is more.
It is. It's like more. I can taste a sweet potato, and it's pretty good. It's like
I'm just gonna be honest.
what?
What he gonna say?
I'm a sweet potato guy, so as long as it tastes good, I'm gonna take sweet potato over
No,
pumpkin.
but hey, but like,
It's fire. Sweet potato fire. I'm good. Sweet
go.
potato.
I-
The pumpkin was good though. Not exactly.
No,
I wouldn't
the
say this.
pumpkin blew me
No,
away.
I- I've
But
never
we both
had
came
pumpkin.
To this fight,
No.
Look,
You
drag it out.
came to this
Never
fight
had
with
pumpkin
a,
in
with
my
a
life.
short leg.
Yeah.
You had one leg that was 6 feet, one leg that
I
was
would
4
say
feet.
this. You lost by just because with me.
Because he's biased.
Because I like sweet potato.
And you know what? If it's a
Your
taste
pumpkin
preference,
is fire.
I can't say anything to you.
Never had pumpkin in my life. I never tried to taste
Nobody
it.
good-
goes to the store looking
it's
for
a good.
pumpkin.
It's a really good pie.
So
Yours is actually
I
more
would eat your
like
pumpkin pie. Like if you gave
like
me pumpkin pie, I would
fibery.
eat
Like
that.
it's like I can taste the. It's weird. I've never had a sweet potato pie like this before.
Yeah, guess what? It doesn't shock me because it's me. All right? Which one, Logan? Tell the truth because you keep eating the perfect sweet potato pie.
I've had both. I think it's really just preference. I'm not a big dessert guy. I think I'd have to go. I'd probably go pumpkin here just because it's a little bit sweeter.
Oh my
But
god!
but that's the thing. I like the sweet potato pie. Like I don't. It's not like I dislike it. It's like and I
It's
like
what you like more.
it's like what Tana said. I'm like I have no dog in this fight. I don't eat a lot of pies, unfortunately for me. But it's good. It tastes good. Both of them
Well,
taste
I
good.
can't trust you because you smell blind.
That is true. I'm
Yeah,
so blind.
You smell blind.
What does that even mean?
He can't smell.
I can smell better than I could. There was a period of my life where I couldn't smell at all. That's what happens when you break your nose 8 times. You
Yeah, he
lose-
broke his nose like 17 times. So
I didn't
he's
want to say anything.
he's basically Dewey Cox. He smell blind.
No.
Oh, yes, he's Dewey Cox, and he smell blind, and he cannot smell anything. So I know I'm not shocked that
Yeah,
he
both of them
chose
are fine.
pumpkin.
See, I feel like maybe if you put a little more cinnamon in this, I'd be more in it.
Well, I didn't want to make it overbearing.
It's good though, man.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, Fred. You really made this yourself?
I made this last night, sponsored by Jack Daniels.
At first I was going to be questioning this Fred make it, but after
Jason, it tastes homemade.
yeah,
does.
it's
It
homemade.
definitely does
It's
taste
definitely
homemade.
homemade.
Yeah, it's homemade.
So,
Most
Fred, I mean, obviously you made it. You're not. Jason, did you have a bite? So
Jason over there
okay.
smiling
All
over
right.
there.
So what you got?
Okay, so my plate is cleared, as you can imagine. Right? A part of me wants to say that the pumpkin pie is a winner just because of Fred's reaction.
You like the sweet potato pie?
Guys, this is really close.
I like
razor thing.
No, they are. Like, and I'm a pumpkin. I'm not a pumpkin hater, but I'm like, I just never had pumpkin, so I was like, nah, I don't want no damn pumpkin.
So you
So I would have always just said
Sweet
no
potato.
pumpkin, but tasting both of them,
I really like the texture of
It's
the
like
pumpkin. The
neck
sweet
to
potato's
neck,
good
but I
though.
just-
They're both good.
Yeah.
So with the Rocky analogies,
Yeah.
I feel like this is Rocky 1.
Rocky won,
Yeah.
and it's a draw.
A lot of respect here for the pumpkin pie.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you
The sweet potato pie was
So you believe-
haymakers, pumpkin pie was hanging. It's right there. I don't know.
It's a draw. It kind of feels like a
I
draw.
think it's a draw.
so you believe in moral victories. See,
It's
that's
a-
what happened to us after the Eagles game.
But like, see, like I'm having bites of both, and I can't be like one of these is bad.
Yeah.
Like
no.
I kind of like the
Nowhere
texture a little bit better of Selby's, but I like the. There's like there's something
girth.
There's a girth.
Yeah.
The girth.
The girth.
The girth. That's a good.
the substance. It's the substance you talking about. There you go. The substance. It showed up. Nah, I like that.
And I think they blown away by it being purple. Like usually when people eat sweet potato, you know. Yeah.
Well, and also I think there's like a little bit of like like how you're like my godfather. He used to make his, and the consistency was much more like Selby's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A little bit softer,
Softer.
a little bit more fluffy,
Yeah.
right? So this is different for me, but
Yeah.
I still think it's good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like it probably goes back to like when I was 8 years old at Thanksgiving, getting after sweet or pumpkin pie or whatever,
Yeah.
sweet potato pie. It reminds me of that a little bit. So
I
Go ahead and give Fred the benefit of the doubt. You know.
Fred, good job, man.
Hey, why
Selby.
thank y'all?
We
Selby.
both
Selby,
did great.
Selby, great job.
No.
Like-
The one thing about sports, we keep points. Right? I scored 7. You scored 6. You lost.
No, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
just to be annoying. 7 for Tana, 7 for me, 3 for Jason going both ways. You both got 10, and then
And then I'm the tiebreaker, right?
then well you're
You're the tiebreaker.
okay. This is a great idea, and this is why our producer makes the big bucks or makes the medium bucks. Sorry, bud. I think we need to do a tiebreaker.
So we need to do a rematch.
I think so for Thanksgiving. You guys want to do something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the
Of
time.
course.
Hey, listen, that's the time of pumpkins right there.
That's my favorite time of year. Thanksgiving, underrated, slept on.
So
all
what?
day.
So like, can we kind of? Do you guys want to both do a sweet potato pie? I mean, we've had Fred's sweet potato pie. Do you do a sweet potato pie?
I'll come to your home turf.
no.
I'll beat you with your
How
own
about,
recipe.
how about I make my first pumpkin
Yeah,
pie?
you make
Oh
it.
your
my
first sweet
God!
potato pie.
Yeah.
All right,
That's a great tiebreaker.
Pay-per-view
Now-
seats already
Now we
available.
get to see who's just a better baker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now I
if
got to
you
go
able-
on his turf,
Yeah.
and he got to come on my
I love
turf.
this. I love this.
All right,
idea.
all right, I'm in. Okay, great. So we're supposed to do a. You want? Okay, I think that's the right idea.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to end it better than
Drop the fork.
than the rematch than the rematch of the
I see-
baking century right
I'll
here.
see you on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. All right.
Prime
There.
time matchup. Be
Yeah.
there.
Be
If
there,
you
be
like
square.
this, if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe.